Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Me First by Helen Lester, illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. A story about learning to take turns. So, what we see on the cover page, there are some piglets and a school bus. Let's read the story. Me First. This is the title page, and there is another character in the story that looks like a witch. Pinkerton was pink, plump, and pushy. He would do anything to be first, even it meant bouncing off bellies, stepping on snouts, or tying tails. So this is a character, main character in the story, called Pinkerton, and he always wanted to be first. The first sentence of the story tells us the character traits of the Pinkerton. Character traits of Pinkerton, that he was pushy and he would do anything to be first. Even he can bounce off people, step on somebody's snout, or like he's stepping here on another piglet's snout, and he tied two of other animals' tails. And you see this number 1 because he always wanted to be first. Me first, he cried when he had been last in line and finished first down the slide. Me first, he cried at story time, settling on the round bottom with his big head right smack in front of the book. And every day in school cafeteria, me first rang out, and there was Pinkerton. So this is him and the other piglets getting lunch from school cafeteria, and look at his tray, it's all full, he can't even see his way. One Saturday, Pinkerton's pig scout troop went on a day trip to the beach. Pinkerton was first on the bus and sat in the front row. So this is him going first in the bus, so he can sit in the front row. He was first off the bus, first in the water, first out of the water, and first into the picnic basket. So he is first in everything and at everywhere. And these are all the scouts, and this is him first again. After lunch, the pig scouts decided to go for a hike. Hike is a kind of walk. Off they went with Pinkerton leading the line, of course. As the pig scouts marched across the sand, they heard a faint voice far in the distance. The voice called out, "Who would care for a sandwich?" Pinkerton perked up his pointy ears. Care for a sandwich? Oh yes, me first, he thought, and he began to trot ahead of others. Soon he heard the voice again, closer and louder this time. Who would care for a sandwich? Me first, cried Pinkerton, kicking up sand and leaving the other pig scouts far behind. His imagination almost burst. Peanut butter, jelly, 2 tomatoes, 7 pickles, a slab of cheese, a blob of mayo, a big smear of mustard, all for me first. So this is what he's thinking about, the sandwich, because the voice was calling, who would care for a sandwich? And this is in his imagination. He's thinking about this kind of sandwich with 2 tomatoes and 7 pickles and mayo and other things that he was thinking about. Who would care for a sandwich? This is him going. Now at full gallop, Pinkerton shrieked, "Me first!" Over a sandy hill he flew, and kerplop! He landed face to face with a small creature with a bump on her nose and a fur on her toes. So this is that creature who was calling, who would care for a sandwich. "Am I glad to see you?" she cackled. "I sure could hear you coming. Me first, me first, me first. I guess you really would care for a sandwich." Look at Pinkerton's face. "Oh, yes, indeed," he replied Pinkerton. He jumped up and down so fast his teeth jiggled. "Good," cackled the small creature. Pinkerton waited 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. "Well?" he asked. "Well, what?" replied the small creature. "The sandwich," begged Pinkerton. "Where is the sandwich?" The small creature courtesied. "You are looking at her." She went on, "I am a sandwich, and I live in the sand. And you said you would care for a sandwich, so here I am. Care for me." So this creature is a witch who lives in the sand. And when she said, "Who care for a sandwich?" Pinkerton thought that it's a sandwich that we eat. That's actually a sandwich. So he was running to get a sandwich, but he met a witch. All Pinkerton could say was, "But I," taking no notice, the sandwich continued, "You said me first. You wanted to be first to care for me. Well, congratulations. Now just come along to my sand castle." Grabbing Pinkerton firmly by the sleeve, she led him around a few bends. So this is how the witch is grabbing him by his sleeve and dragging him along up to her sand castle. And this is her sand castle where she lives. Before he could say, "But I," again, the gate her castle closed. This is the inside of the castle. "All right, my pink plump and pushy one, now you care for me. You may have the honor of being the first to powder my nose and comb my toes." Seeing no way out, Pinkerton powdered her nose and combed her toes. So these are her furry toes that he's combing, and here he is powdering her nose. Next, she crowed, "You may be the first to put my supper in a bucket and feed me with a shovel." Pinkerton looked around. He had no choice. He put her supper in a bucket and fed her with a shovel. Rubbing her tummy, the sandwich spoke on. "Finally, after you have the privilege of being first to wash my dishes and sweep my castle and do my laundry and curl my hair and tuck me in, you may be the first to tell me a bedtime story." And look at this. Her laundry, sweeping, all the chores that a long list of chores she has given to him. And look at the piles of dishes. Oh my God. Pinkerton washed the dishes. This many dishes he has washed. Swept the castle. Did the laundry. Curled the sandwiches here and tucked her in. So that's because she's a sandwich who lives in the sand. Her comforter is also made with sand. So when she's tucked in the bed, he's Pinkerton throwing sand on her with a shovel. And here he's curling her hair. She has given him so many jobs. Now, the witch came out of the bed. She's standing on her covers. The sandwich stretched and yawned loudly. "Now the story. I need my story." Pinkerton was so tired he could barely speak. "I don't know any stories," he whimpered. "Then how about making up something? Oh, how about something concerning a pushy pig who always wanted to be first?" Pinkerton sighed and began. "Once upon a time, there lived a pig who always wanted to be first until one day he met a wise sandwich." "Wise and beautiful," cut the sandwich. "A wise and beautiful sandwich who showed him that first was not always best." So this is the lesson that the witch taught Pinkerton, and he has learned this lesson. And now she let him go, and she's holding a real sandwich in her hand. "Aha!" cackled the sandwich. She gave Pinkerton a slow, serious, and a meaningful wink. "Have you learned something?" "Oh, yes, yes, yes," said Pinkerton. "I promise I have." "In that case, thanks for the care. Goodbye and good luck." She opened the gate and Pinkerton sped off as fast. He didn't even notice the delicious sandwich she held out to him. So he just left so fast he didn't notice the real sandwich that the witch was offering him. He was just in time to catch the bus. Oh, on he scooted, pink, plum, and glad to be the last. Now he's the last one to board on the bus. He learned the lesson that always being first is not a good choice, and sometimes you can be the last or you can be second. You should take turns. And this story has a really good lesson for those kids who always wanted to be first. They can push others, they can yell, they want to be first. I hope, kids, you like this story. Thank you for watching.